right. Good afternoon, my friends. Maerlande here. And today I have a guest who is my competitor, ally, teammate in the tournament game number 14. So this is Dat Boi. Say hello.
I've been playing on Luce's Discord for about a year, just doing the tournaments so far. But I have my own personal Discord that I like to play with my friends a lot, and
You play
really
Dominions
enjoy.
there?
Yes, I play with my friends. Now those games are a little smaller, usually
So
about
you have
six,
friends?
7 people. Yes, I have friends that
Oh,
I've
good,
dragged into
good.
the
Is that
game.
expensive?
Right?
Is it expensive?
Oh, yes. Sometimes I end up buying people the game because I
Oh
want
my.
to have other players play it that bad.
I got a question for you. How long have
Sure.
you played Dominions?
I played Dominions now for about 2 years. I bought the game
Okay.
on Steam
Mm-hmm.
about 5 or 6 years ago, just kind of fiddled with it for a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
that was Dominions 4 at the time, I
You
believe.
bought 4. Okay.
Yeah, and I had a little bit of fun with it, but then the pandemic hit, and
Hmm.
like I had a lot of friends that were just kind of stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
And first we played a game, which was a board game called Diplomacy, if
I
anybody is
know
familiar with that.
diplomacy. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and
There's a
so
copy of it right back there behind me.
yeah, and so that was a complete a lot of backstabbing that happened there, and it was
Yes.
very toxic. But I was still able to leverage that into getting people to try Dominions because I had always the game had always been in the back of my mind, and I wanted to try it with friends. So
Well,
eventually I played with.
it's kind of impressive because I personally have never been able to convince anyone except, as you mentioned when we were talking earlier, I got my son to play when he was younger. But as he became a teenager, he lost interest. It's too slow moving. It's too ponderous and too much math. And I mean, he's fine with math, but he just doesn't really go for it.
It's a hard sell. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah, yeah. And the commitment. I mean, if you're playing with friends, you could probably pick a speed. If you're all close living together, you're not so limited by the time zone issue. That's a big one on the online communities is, it's very hard to play any faster than a turn a day because of time zones.
Yes, exactly. I think, but that's part of why I enjoyed Dominion so much. At least playing with a broader online community is because you get to meet a lot of very interesting people that you probably wouldn't have
No,
on your own.
absolutely. Okay, well, maybe let's go to the game a bit. So this is turn 11. I've already done the first episode, turns 1 to 10, and I punched them through very quickly. We may or may not get very many turns done today. I try to go for about 30 minutes. But here in 11, starting off, now I'll only be able to show my version. Dat Boi, he was playing Pangaea, and we'll pop out to the map here and look at the strategic situation. So here I am. I've got good expansion. This is quite decent for turn 11, and I'm done. There's a couple of thrones, but I don't have armies in position. And this throne here, I probed this turn, so that's going to be a hard go. The Anunnaki of the underworld, all those shades and shadows and shade beasts. There's ways to kill them, but this is not something I want to risk a major army on this early in the game when there's threats from humans. Because the thing about these throne guys, they're not going to leave the throne, so they're no threat to me, but it'd be nice to get the throne. Plus, I know that that's most likely the throne of death, and I really don't want, the throne of death right now.
Yeah, and you had taken. I'm realizing this now. Maybe uh, hadn't in the past, but you had taken some death scales in your build, so that would have
Yes.
really
Well, it wouldn't have made it any
slowed me down.
worse, but a little foreshadowing. I negotiate for this throne down here. So that, anyways, it just wasn't a fight I wanted to pick. But I think if we talk about the diplomacy and how you and I kind of got talking and then built a pretty robust alliance, was the fact that we looked here And Vaettiheim was puny, like teeny tiny. You were already one away from his capital. I don't know, you probably were here in 62 as well. You see that there?
Yes, yes. I expanded particularly aggressively in his direction.
Yeah.
At this point, or either the next couple of turns, Vaettiheim's going to reach out to me, asking to uh, buy that province there,
Oh, yeah.
right next to his. Yeah, and so I told him, oh, I'd have to think about it, um, and he didn't pressure me for a nap at that point, which I thought was not a probably would have been a smart move on his part. But definitely, yeah, I think both of us are noticing there's blood in the water.
Yeah, well,
With a competitive tournament like this, it's like
you
if you
can
have a
see
bad
it here,
experience.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
I
think
mean,
you shared that with me.
this was the big indication. I mean, he just lost an entire expansion army. Now, there's no sacreds in here, but I think that's his profit. If I remember, we could jump in and have a look here. Nope, that's not a profit. So he did lose his profit, but this was not inspiring. This looked like a juicy target at this point in time. And I have not seen his bless at this point in the game. But
I'd say it's going to give us some trouble later.
it does, and I try not to foreshadow in the videos too much, but sometimes
Sorry, yeah.
no, it's okay. It can happen. So as you can see, I'm pushing scouts all the way through him because I've already been thinking there's something funny here. I should have met him probably here in 191, or I thought I would meet him in 178. I was expecting a bump. So I've already got a fort going up there. There's nothing to see of his armies. I can't see anything. So he's either got little armies here, and we can't be sure. So, turn 11 is a pretty quiet turn for me. I might just jump to 12 here. There's not too much else to say. We got, I got one expansion there, insignificant losses, another one in Pangaea, that's just probing. And then a third one here, and that was the end of possible expansion for me. So I either pick a fight, or I've got one more there. I pick an opponent, or I try to stock up and go for thrones. But
And something you had said to me at this point was that you were going for more of a rush build. So I don't know who suggested that, we team up against Vaettiheim, but that was in my interest because I felt like, I was a potential rush target also.
well, you went with a full scales build, right? This game.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
did.
you had almost no bless whatsoever. But then Dryad hoplites they're okay, but they're nothing compared to the white centers of the previous two versions of Pangaea. So you just don't have the power. Whereas I do have, ancestor vessels are very darn fine. And then
Actually, at this point in the game, I'm still kind of trying to hide my blast because I don't think it's necessary to build um, the Dryad hoplites early just because you're trying to get those satyrs out, and that's going to help you expand faster.
I don't think
Um,
Dryad hoplites are cost-effective expanders. I would agree with you there.
so I took magic weapons and Farcaster, and I had an 8 astral blast, which I was kind of hoping. I didn't want people to immediately know that. I thought that it might make me a more potential rush target.
Which bless did you take on the 8?
I took magic
Magic
weapons
weapons.
and Farcaster.
Right. Yeah, that's not a scary bless. And of course, people are going to, if they calculate it, they'll figure out he's got an astral 8, but that pretty much means an immobile, which later, that would be the analysis I'd make. And then for you to really leverage that is massive amounts of research. So it's going to be a long time till you can really leverage that high astral.
Exactly.
And the bless on its own, it's very nice. Your centaur magi, they're sacreds, right? And they could bless themselves.
No, they're not.
They're not, right?
I was planning on, and I do this a little bit, but I don't think I made as good of a use with Farcaster as I could have. But made some Battle Shroud Saints of the Battle Shroud for my pans, and I was
Shrouds of the
thinking
Battle
that
Saint.
I was thinking I could. What's so funny?
You said Saints of the Battle Shroud.
Oh yeah.
It was a good one. And they call
Yeah.
that
So I
when you
wanted to
muddle your
drop
words. It was good.
Sleep Cloud and Poison Cloud, potentially on my opponent while they were buffing. I thought that that would be a very strong strategy.
Oh, did you make a lot of Dryads?
I did not, and I think that was something I should have been starting protection earlier on.
Okay.
In my mind, I wanted to get as much research going as possible. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And your cheapest
So,
researcher are the Centaurs, right?
and that's really one of the strengths of late 8 Pangaea. I mean, you're paying, I think, 90 gold for a researcher that's base 12, I think,
Mm-hmm.
without
Mm-hmm.
the scales. It's
Did
like,
you take magic scales?
I took full magic scales.
Yeah. I did not because I wanted the bless.
Yeah, so
I mean,
very greedy build.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sweating here at this point in the game, just hoping that nobody noticed how greedy I've been.
Yeah, that's I'm sure you've heard us talk about that, Lucid and I, quite a bit, that it can grow great, but if people see that you don't have early counters, it makes you a bit of a rush target. So let's jump on to turn 12.
One more thing before we head over.
Sure.
I think because it's something you actually missed last turn, was me putting another prophet out there. I actually, turn 3, I sent out my expansion army. Well, I sent out my prophet, but not my expansion army, so he just, like, suicided.
Well, dumb stuff happens. We got a fun one coming up for me here soon.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right, let's jump to 12.
Yeah, if you look at that prophet, I named him "Please Don't Die to Indies."
Okay, so anybody who had a dormant god, they're coming awake. So here's look at that. So Vaettiheim was able to take out an independent just with a scout because he somehow or other got the commanders previously. So in this fight we looked at last turn, he did get the commanders, but his own guys ran before they ran.
It seems he's really going for this assassin expansion strategy, which I don't really remember seeing that many when, spoilers, we're going to go starting a war, but I think...
The war started. The war started. You could see my moves here.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't... maybe I'm going to see the assassin battles on your side because I don't think I encountered that many of them.
We don't get to see them. Even Omniscience doesn't get to see assassin battles. They don't show up.
I know. I mean, in the sense that him using assassins against us.
The
war.
I don't think he did much at all. I lost very little for that. And then, so I was successful here. I cleared that one with minimal loss. And that is my expansion basically done. I've got forts going up all over the place. I've got a good bit of gold because the death scales haven't affected me too much. And here we go. We're prepped to attack Vaettiheim. Of course, I still, to the best of my knowledge, I have not seen his bless. So I don't know what I'm really getting against. And cold is not to my advantage, and Rim Vetti are very dangerous. I had a game going parallel with this one where I had to kill off a lot of Rim Vetti with Zabalba, late age Zabalba, and oh man, that took some work because most sacreds just bounce off those things. They're size 1, and yeah.
The overlapping cold auras can really kill you.
Exactly. If you don't have cold resistance, and I sure as heck didn't take cold resistance. I took defense skill instead. So there's not a lot else to say about turn 12. Just those couple of cleanups. And,
at this point, I've moved my prophet, who's a harpy, into Vetty space, and I'm just trying to dom pressure him into removing some of that cold dominion.
Yeah,
you can see that temple there as well. That was just a random event, actually. But
okay. But you get cheap forest temples, right? if I
I
remember
get
correctly.
not cheap forest temples. I get cheap
Yeah.
anywhere temples for 200.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I played. I subbed into a late age Pangaea game at about turn 40, but that one was totally different. He went with larger bless, and
I was considering that
his
actually.
shtick was he ran around with the sacred minotaurs and
Yeah.
sacred minotaur thugs. It was very effective in the early game, but he finished expansion and he just kind of quit. Like, I think he ran out of personal steam. So when I took it
Yeah.
over, I had a decent situation, but by mid game, the trampling idea thugs were not holding up because they weren't holding up against battle magic. So I had to kind of shift the whole nation to a different direction. But
Yeah, I mean, I
as
tested
a
a
rush
lot with
bless. Go
tested a
ahead.
lot with the larger bless, and I just, in my opinion, it wasn't worth it. My expansion wasn't really even that much better than scales expanding. I
Good,
really think you benefit a lot more from more income as late age pan.
yeah, good analysis. I would go with that. I've never played in Dominions 5 a late age Pangea game from this beginning. Actually, there's a ton of nations. I know how they work because I've played against them, but I've not played them myself. I mean, I only play a few games at a time, so and given the games take 6 months to a year or whatever, you just what are there? There's 75 or 78 nations in the game. Divide that by say four, trying four of them a year in multiplayer. It's going to take you a lot of years to play them all.
Hmm. It's certainly a very deep game.
It is.
I mean, it's almost three games, right? Because you have three different eras, and so the matchups you're going to have in each of those eras are completely different.
They definitely can be. So I think that kind of covers 12. Do you remember if you were attacking right now?
No, or if I'm sending attack orders,
Yes.
I think yes, I think we had agreed to attack on a certain turn, and
Looks like
you're
this is
attacking
it.
now. Then
Yeah.
yeah, this is it.
Well, we should see it because I'm pushing scouts to where I should be able to see what you're doing as well. Okay, let's jump to 13. Yeah, there you are. You're attacking. I'm attacking. So we'll kind of look at this on the map. And there, okay, there we have. So that's not much of an army sitting in his capital. 50 units. So unless he's hiding something somewhere else, and now we could see the extent of his total area. I mean, he got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces. That's pretty small. Pretty small.
This
Let's.
at this point in the war, it's Vetti's kind of almost out of it completely. I
It looks like
think
it, doesn't it? Yeah.
because he's just in an unenviable strategic situation there. He's got his army in his capital, but he can't fight
No,
with the amount of fronts we're attacking him on.
and look at what he's got for PD. He's got a little bit there, a little bit here. Yeah, just 6-ish, 1-ish, 1-ish. So there does not appear to be any threat, and none of my armies are backed up. They're a little light on blessing, because all I've got is a single Master of the Way here to bless the few sacreds in this mix. This army here, relatively, it's solid, but it's simple. That's my profit. And what have you got here? So you've got a much more substantial army, but it's mostly just satyrs, which with javelins are fine, but you haven't got any mage backup or anything yet.
Yeah, this is just basically a consolidation of a lot of my expansion armies.
Mm-hmm. You got a few hoplites, but you didn't even bless them. I was wondering why you didn't at the time.
Yeah,
But you just
at this point, I'm still trying to be sneaky about what my bless is, and figured it wouldn't really turn the battle their way.
yeah, and the cataphracts are solid. They're very solid units.
They're very strong, yes.
I used, we did the draft game and we picked the Centaur Warriors from early age. And they're very, very solid units. And the cataphracts are even tougher. Okay, so you did clean. Mine was super clean. Well, a scout and 2 wolf brothers, that's peanuts. And Jarls and some heavies, peanuts again. So there isn't. You got anything else to sort of comment on turn 13 here? It's pretty clean to me.
Not really. I will point out though you have discovered another player, right there, which is the Jomon player.
Oh yeah. We met up with Jomon. No, I haven't found him. You have. Oh, there he is. Yeah, there we go. I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's kind of, and see, this is, I'm thinking, where did he come from? You know, he's, given that he's probably somewhere here, because I know he requested a pond. So my guess is his capital's right there.
He's my western neighbor.
And you're right here. He should be right there, because it's symmetric. No, he won't be in the mountain. It could be. But anyways, we find out later. Okay, well, I'm going to jump to 14 then. So we might get to 15 in this little episode. Doesn't matter. They don't have to be round number. Oh, he counterattacked. Okay, here we go. We've got Vaettiheim counterattacks. So which one should we look at first? Let's start here. Oh, he just probed with a scout. Okay, that's trivial. I succeeded here with that same army. But it looks like I bounced hard. You see that? Oh boy, did I ever.
Rimvetti are out there.
Here's the Rimvetti.
We're going to find out the bless here.
Yeah, and this is where things get tough. This is where I have to bring up mage support and get serious about this. And on top of all of the toughness with these guys, he's got Moss Body and a base protection of 20, Chill Aura stacked, size 1, and sure enough, he neuters half my bless, more than half my bless, with a shock resistance bless. Like, what kind of luck is that? You know, I mean, a lot of people will take shock resistance, but not very many take shock 15, and not a lot else. Like, just defense and shock 15. It's like, did he just guess that I would be his opponent? Or, I don't know what is... I would not normally pick shock 15 as a bless. I might take fire and shock resist in earth, but I wouldn't usually pick shock 15. I might take shock 5 and then add in another little bit of air bless, like swiftness or something. So that's kind of funny. Anyways, so now I know right away this is going to get hard.
Well, from his perspective, I think it was actually a pretty strong bless, because in my opinion, that's probably what you're most worried about from the Betty is getting hit by like air evocations.
Actually, you're right. Good analysis there, because they're not too worried about fire. You know, in their density, 10 hit points and really high armor. So fire's only armor piercing, whereas sharp's armor negating, which defeats one of their strongest things, is great protection. So yeah, that makes sense. But it sure did neuter me. I mean, you know, this wouldn't have been... I wouldn't have picked this matchup just based on what I have as a bless and what I have as units, except that he was so obviously weak, and you were keen on, you know, let's expand at his sake.
Yeah, and I think I maybe shared the bless with you earlier than this point.
I think you did.
Yeah, we had already kind of committed then, and I don't know if it's now or in the very near future we're going to kind of agree to a partition of Betty's lands.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. We agree. Yeah, and definitely it's the Chill Aura, because you know, the guys aren't doing too bad. So I busted a moss body there so that, you know, that does a little chip damage, but you can take a look here at the F1 screen. So I got smashed pretty hard. And I think on top of everything else, that's a good, no, that's not a huge PD dump, but a moderate PD dump. So that helped as well because it tied up my guys, wasted lance charges on PD. And that's a factor.
He's got those berserkers too in that army,
Yes.
which hit very hard for their size.
Mm-hmm. So that was mine, and then... Oh, he bounced off you. Yeah, but that's just Wolf Brothers. So, and that was your big army. But your army moved on. Oh, and you caught my... No, you're still there. You just caught my patroller.
I just sat there, patrolled, put some PD, expecting a counterattack.
Yeah. He sent the wimpy counterattack at you. Ooh, he got you here pretty good. I mean, those are just satyrs, but... Is he using anything special? So you're just a simple... Well, they're undisciplined, aren't they, or are they?
They are undisciplined.
Yeah. So you can't do anything with formations except split them into chunks. The javelins do okay.
I knew his main army was in his capital, so I figured I could get a little off the side of. But he PD dumped here.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of armor, so yeah, they're gonna really struggle with those arrows and the javelins.
Let me look at that.
I wonder if those. I don't remember if they are the ones with the javelins or the shields. It looked like they were the ones with the shields, but I'm not
Your satyrs?
Sure. Satyrs, yeah.
These are javelins, looks like to me.
Javelin ones.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the javelin guys. Yeah,
they don't have the shields.
No, but they're
still that missile fire.
They're cheap, right? 9 or something.
Old.
Okay, so there we go. So that was first full turn of the war. So it'll be next episode where the more exciting stuff comes up. Now I think we could probably see I'm bringing up my Pretender. I've made him a splash of gear. I don't think I have any other gear really. No, I have nothing much else made. I'm bringing up some earth magic to help out. Research-wise, I'm grabbing Legions of Steel. Hopefully that will help a little bit. There's really nothing I can do about the cold resistance for a long time. Because I would have to get up into... Where are we? Enchant. I'd have to get up to Winter Ward here. That's 5. So that isn't going to happen. This war should be over before I can get enough research to deal with the chill aura. So I've got to use some other method. I don't remember... I do kind of remember what I chose to do, but we'll get to that in the next episode. So we're coming up on the 30 minutes of final words.
I want to thank you for this opportunity. I hope that this has been useful to newer players. I joined this tournament, mostly because it's one of the higher levels of play, and I wanted to learn. So hopefully, we're all getting that experience of learning together.
Yes.
This game, you can never learn enough. Teaches many hard lessons.
Oh yeah. Give you a little bit of a shout out. Kosk, who is playing Utgard, just commented today. He said you're doing much better than he expected for a new player. So there you go.
Oh really? That was very nice of him.
Well, he didn't intend it to be a public comment, but I'm going to make it a public comment. So there you go. He just said to me that you caught him off guard in a few fights, and that would be a lot of foreshadowing. So we'll leave it at that.
Sure. All right.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome to join me next time.
I'd love to.
All right. Take care, folks. Have a good one.